I just put $20 in my gas tank because I'm broke as shit because this economy sucks, right? Tell me why on E I got a whole quarter tank of gas. Keep in mind, $36 used to fill my car up. What fucking world are we living in?
This is genuinely the worst economy to hate your job in. Like, every day I want to quit, but every day I'm reminded if I do quit, I won't even be able to afford a meal. Like, at this point, it feels safer to just be unhappy than to be unemployed. We've never lived in times like this.
What's the average car payment in 2026?
Oof. Yeah, it's gone up a lot. I mean, here, it's probably $800.
The average car payment in 2026?
$800.
What's the average car payment in 2026?
The average car payment in 2026 is, I believe last time I checked, it was around $875, I think.
The average home price in America just went up to $415,000. At a 20% down payment, that would mean you would have to save up $100,000 plus with closing fees and a 6-month emergency fund for a 20% down payment. The problem is that the average American makes between $50,000 to $70,000 a year, and it would take them, without spending any money on car notes, paying off a car loan, paying off student loans, 20 years to save up $100,000. That's about $2,700 you put away every single month for 20 years to save up $100,000. Now, the problem is home prices double every 20 years. So basically, nobody can qualify for these homes.
When do you think they'll get it? When do you think they're going to understand that people cannot afford the lives that they want? They can't afford the children. The generations will continue to get smaller. People will continue having fewer children. When do you think that's going to happen? Like, it's not a matter of, oh, well, it's just like a minor dip. It's a matter of the fact that people can barely make it work on their own. Or if you're in a situation like myself, I'm finally making really good money. I'm not going to immediately funnel that to a freaking kid. No, absolutely not. And yet the cost of living is still insane. Inflation's still insane. Housing still insane. And it's like they just think that they can continue to escalate on every front and everyone's still going to comply. Like, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to collapse. Like, I just don't understand why this is all coming as a surprise for them. They just think they can squeeze more and more and more. Everyone's increasing their prices on every front and saying, why isn't anyone having children? Gee, I wonder.
People are charging $1,000 a month to rent rooms in their home. $1,000 a month to rent a room. Bro, what the fuck we gonna do? The cost of living has gotten out of hand, and y'all buy a house, man. Everybody that I know that owns a house tells me don't buy no fucking house. They hate that shit. Between property taxes going the fuck up, insurance going the fuck up, niggas having to fix roofs. Is that what it is? Having to fix their roof and shit. Everybody I know that got a goddamn house tell me don't buy no goddamn house. They say at least you call a maintenance man. But dead ass, what the fuck we gonna do about the rising cost of living? Because what you mean you charging people $1,000? You got 3 rooms in your house, you're charging them $1,000 for somebody to come live there. This shit is sad. Like, my son gonna be an adult in the next couple of years. He's gonna graduate from high school and be an adult. And this is the world he has to live in? The fuck? I guess I need... shit is weird.
Here's a recession indicator. In my apartment complex, I am seeing more and more people get evicted than ever. I've started to see Section 8 people show up at my apartment complex, and it's a very luxurious apartment complex. And most importantly, what showed up this month on the little rent bill on the app is flex pay. So you can pay in 2 payments instead of just all at once. So I saw about 5 months ago, they had extended the due date by 1 day. It used to be due on the 3rd, and then you would get a late payment. But now it's due on the 4th, and then you get a late payment on the 5th. So that was the first indicator. Then I started seeing people get evicted. One of my friends got evicted. She said 4 other people were getting evicted with her at the same time in my apartment complex. And then, like, I started seeing Section 8 people show up. There's a big one. And then most importantly, like I said, flex pay. flex pay showing up on the apartment payment, kind of a big deal. And this is in San Diego, California, so it's already expensive enough to live here. So things are starting to crack, and I'm just curious to see how long it can last.
The reason why these layoffs are so severe is because corporations have realized that we have figured them out, that we know that they don't actually give a shit, and it's all just a well-planned marketing scheme that is now falling apart. When you realize you can no longer trick people by making aspirational promises, you have to force them to work for you by making them desperate. This is evidence of late-stage capitalism if you think about it, because before they were able to treat their workers better, and when you're a little more comfortable, you don't see things for what they are as much. But at this point, they're squeezing everybody so much because they are so massive and have so much leverage. There's nowhere else for them to go besides turning in on themselves. Fatal flaw of capitalism and corporations is that they believe they have to make more money every single quarter. So this happens in phases. The first phase is market takeover. When they're trying to take over the market, they are much more reasonably priced, they pay better, they really are at the mercy of the working class and the consumers, so they play fair and at least pay decent wages. I mean, they're always predatory, but it's a little bit more fair in the beginning. Once they take over market share, a normal, sane company would say, okay, we've maxed out the value potential of our offer. So now, we just have kind of maybe hit the ceiling on profits, and we are just happy to sustain those profits quarter over quarter. That's not what these corporations do. What these corporations do is say, every single quarter needs to be more than the last quarter. So when you do that, after you've taken over the market, now you have to figure out, how do I make even more? And the only way to do that is to start not playing fair, to do things like degrade the value of your product because you're taking the quality out of the product so that you can make more money and you're lowering expenses. You beat out other competition in unfair ways. You start cutting wages. And now they're at the point where they're literally turning in on themselves and cutting all of their employees, which is an idiotic move, only for the sake of more profit, temporarily.
Many people are saying that this year's economy just feels like a repeat of 2020. Just misery. No growth, no excitement, just frustration. These layoffs that these companies are creating is making people stressed out because more people are entering the job market and there are less jobs to compete for, which causes people to have to be desperate and looking for jobs that they know will not cover their expenses, but they need something in order to survive. That isn't fair. It's not fun. It's not a game that companies should be playing, because these are people's lives. And I understand that they only care about profits and that's how they're going to see things. You're just a number at the end of the day. People are treated that way. You look at the housing situation. People want to buy a home. They want to have that dream of owning some kind of place of their own. When you see the cost of homes continue to rise, you wonder who is actually able to afford these homes. Even affording a 5% down payment on a home just almost seems unrealistic. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of extra work. And in order to get a house that will probably make you house broke. So you don't even truly get to enjoy that. Apart from those, you go to the groceries and you go to the gas station and you just see the prices just skyrocket and you wonder, what's the purpose of doing all these things if I can't even get the bare minimum in order to survive? The economy is not growing in a way that I feel I can be successful. It just feels like everyone is failing, and it's not by choice. Because when you look around, you see the expression of individuals, and you just can tell that there is something off, that there is no joy, no excitement like how there used to be. Many people just feel within themselves the stress and burden of the economy. They don't necessarily say it out loud, and maybe some people do, but there are a lot of individuals who cannot withstand these whirlwinds anymore because they're completely devastated. They're broke financially. They are drained to the point where they don't have any money in their bank accounts anymore. They don't have anything for their emergencies and their savings because they had to drain those too. Because this has become a very unexpected thing where the cost of living in general, especially in the States, has exponentially grown and has made it very difficult people to get by. I'm not saying that every single person is going through that, but the general population definitely feels that weight and that burden where affordability doesn't exist. People are trying to figure out what countries they can move to, what do this and that in order to get by. But there just seems to be no resolution. There is no answer to the situation that we find ourselves in this economy. We all hope that one day things will turn around, but as of right now, there just seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel. If you agree with me, obviously leave a like. Comment your opinions, what your feelings are towards this economy. Is it something that has been exaggerated, or do you think things are actually as bad as they say that it is? And guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.